So I'm going to introduce you to, we're going to just do some soft tackles, easy stuff. The handout that I send out has a list of all the different colors. Now, what you have is a sheet like this or similar to that in the handout that John Kraft helped me make. I think it was quite a long time ago. So different soft tackles have different colors to catch different fish. A different kind of year, October, green drake hatch or whatever. So what I wanted you to be able to look at is have your list along with John's. This is the list that was actually posted right here. Now you'll be able to say what size, what color to imitate which hat. And I got confused of which one, so John helped me design that particular chart. And of course, this is John Kraft's handout on how to tie the fly. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Now, the main material for this particular fly, of course, is the Hungarian partridge. If you look at this partridge, this one I got at Blue Ribbon Flies in Montana. And you look, all of these feathers along this edge right here, the smallest ones, that's where I have other capes that are picked to death. All of this is gone and this is still here. I'll do something else with it. But all of these feathers right here are the ones that I used for the soft tackles. This is the fly we're going to tie tonight. So I'm going to take that off. Start over. We'll start with hooks. I got a pretty good deal the other day. I went to the fly fisher's place and they have some new guys at the shop. And this is my favorite hook. This TMC 102Y. And they had them on the half in a box outside the shop in a tray, 50% off. Well, that's the best deal. That's better than my shop deal. So I bought everything that was there, and then they're a size 13. So that's one thing. Then I have another system that I want to show you tonight. And that's my, let's see if I can turn this right side up. This is a bee box. So what I do when I buy I buy these in boxes of 100. So what I do is I cut out the top of the box and I put it in this box. So then I can have them in order from the different sizes. So from the smallest, you don't have to have them in order, but I do. It's weird. So this is the way I store those. So I can open each one of these individually when I get ready to tie a fly. So that's another little handy thing that I do. Then I have these little guys, and that's easy to take the hooks in and out of them. I have 4 of these, depending on how many flies I'm tying and what sizes. And I put little stickers on them to make sure I can remember what size is in that particular can. So tonight I'm going to use this 102Y that is a little bigger size than some of the ones on that handout, because it's easier for me to tie it when I'm doing a demo and it's easier for you to see it too. But you tie the fly the same. When you get down to a size 20, if you're challenging to do that, then yeah, good luck with that. I go about as far as an 18 and then I'm kind of shut down. So this right here is Vivas. and that's what I like. Sometimes this particular fly, I am using this because that's the one I have, but I have lots of different threads. And whenever I need a color, I just decide to whatever color I need. And it does matter. Thread does matter. But because I have so many different colors and so many that I end up needing, I'm just going to use them until they break or they're not usable anymore. But this particular one I like because it's really, really tiny. So I'm going to put on my goggles here. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, I've got some magnifiers so I can see better. So you start this guy, the thread, a little bit away from the hook eye. And I think one of the most important parts of these small flies is when you're tying for yourself or someone else, and they can't get the tippet through the hook eye. So making sure you don't cover up that hook eye for yourself and anybody you're tying for. And my dear sweet husband, he doesn't like that. What I do is you make sure your starting point. Al Beatty has told us many times, there's your stopping point. So when you get that far, you're going to get a little bit close for what you're doing. So the other method I have that is really pretty easy is when I'm doing a biot body, I have these little stickers, and they're basically Post-its. So what I do, if I'm going to do 6 of these flies, I take and strip off from the main turkey feather. I strip it off and stick it to one of these Post-its. That way I know I've got enough of those off of there at the right size and length for the fly that I'm tying. So that's the way I do that. And of course, during a demo, you don't want to get messed up where you're trying to fumble with a piece of material and you're going, oh, I can't get to that material, it's yucky. And so I can always just pick up another one. So now you've got this long piece of biot body, and it's a little bit too long because when you start wrapping, you're going to end up with too much. So you just cut off just a little bit of this guy because it's for a longer hook shank. And then you take this guy and it's got an edge to it. I like to have the edge pop up. And then you just lay it up against there and tie down on it. It doesn't even matter if it twists around anywhere. It just doesn't matter. So keeping it in a certain position, just wrap it down, it doesn't matter. So when you hold it so the little edge is towards you. And I clip it with my fancy little pliers. And then you can use your handy dandy bodkin and put it over there either way you want. Doesn't matter. Because you can, if you're careful, you won't muck it up. So this came out where the edge is forward. So the spine part won't pop up. It'll be flat. If you turn it the other way, this little spine will pop up on the top. It's just a different tie. In this case, because the skinnier part of the barb is going to lay over top of that part that pops up. So now you've got a very smooth body right there. You guys see this okay? And then you just drop your head thread down in behind it. Once you got it secure, and I turned Turn this upside down. Make sure I've got it wrapped down. And I let it go. Hopefully it doesn't spring back and ruin the demo. Then you've got this little tag sitting out here. You just come in here with your scissors, clip it off, and hopefully you don't clip your thread. Now I got to figure out where am I going to start this underwing, and this is what carries the bubbles. What's neat about this stuff is this is crinkled Zelon, and I'll show you what that looks like. This guy is crinkled Zelon, and you can also use I like the Montana yarn. So anything that's crinkly that looks like this, that will hold bubbles, doesn't matter what the maker is. I just happen to like the stuff I get from Blue Ribbon Plies. So what I do is wrap that around, pull it down. Now I'm going to gauge where I want. I got enough body from here to here. I got a little bit, and I can save a little material by doing this. Now, some of our Tyers are so talented, they don't need to leave this part right here. I do because I don't trust myself. So I'm going to move it just a little bit farther forward so it's not too far back. And that way I can keep it right up on top because that's what you want. Tie down on it. I use my thumb, this thumb right here, to hold this because I'm getting, my old age is catching up with me a little bit. I'm a little shaky now. So I use my thumb to help me steady my hand. Because steadying the hand when you're tying is probably another thing that we're really trying to be able to get to. So now you've got this dab right here. And if you pull it straight, then when it puffs up, it'll be too short. So you got to make sure that you don't make it too long or too short. So you kind of say, well, it's going to end up about like that, and cut it off. And if it looks too long, yeah, it looks a little bit longer, you can just shave it a little bit. That's about it. So now you've got your body and now you're going to get, the next thing is this. I have pre-prepared my soft tackles, so I don't have to take the time to do that. This is just a soft tackle from that partridge, and then I pull all these back. Now what's really cool about soft tackles is, first of all, they catch fish. The second is that our instructor, Jerry Chris, who's not here tonight, is going to do a soft tackle class that is going to show you another way to tie down these feathers. So what I do is I just pull out about how much I think I'm going to need, and then I'm going to trim this off. You can see that. I'm going to leave a little bit of a stem there. Now I'm going to tie this down. This right here ends up being your tying point. You can see the tie-in point. Lay that down. Tie down on the feather. Now I have my fancy hackle pliers from Radio Shack. That's probably out of business by now. And this is an electrical clip is all. I'm going to pull it back and hang on to these feathers and let them slide through your fingers. Make sure you get all of them. And when you come around, it's not one on top of the other. It's just side by side with a little bit of space. So when you get, if you've picked the right size feather, you're not going to crowd that eye right here. It's going to be, you're going to have plenty of room to make that head. This looks like one that might be just right for catching fish. Got a couple of fibers there. Couple more wraps. I don't think that'll come undone now. Trim this guy. And there we go. I build up a little bit of a head here. A lot of you have seen me tie this fly before because we did it last year. And I wanted to tie it as the first class because I got to get my, what do you call it, your mojo working? And the mojo is part of this whole deal. Is if you haven't tied in a while as a demo, which I guess this is 2.5 years, you got a little bit of you got to get things going again. Like once I've done with that, get rid of that guy, and I have this this new material that Al Beatty told us about. This stuff right here, this head cement that we used to use this for our horses. And it turns out this stuff is really, really good for tying cement. So even my past has caught up with me. And what I did is I cut off a lot of the fibers on the brush because I wanted to get really, really tiny drops there. And that's the first fly. Any questions?